Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Phoebe. I talk about thrifting a lot on this channel. I have thrifted most of my clothing secondhand. I keep a lot of hand-me-downs. I mend a lot of items that I have that have broken or that I would have maybe used to just donate. I take a lot of really good care of my clothing, and I talk about investing in good quality pieces and thrifting all the time on this channel. So you wouldn't be surprised to know that I don't love buying fast fashion, but you might be surprised to know that I still do. I've been watching YouTube as my primary source of entertainment for years now. I watch all kinds of YouTubers. I watch fashion YouTubers. I watch vloggers. I watch commentary YouTubers. I love it. But something I've been noticing recently is that YouTubers will often get themselves into a bit of a trap without realizing it. If a vlogger mentions wanting to eat healthier and then, 3 vlogs later they're eating pizza, their audience can be very quick to call them out and be like, I thought you said you were going to eat healthier. A homemaker vlogger might talk a lot about sustainability, so the audience gathers that that is like their thing or one of their things. And then if they're seen, cleaning with a toxic chemical cleaner in a non-refillable plastic bottle, people are like, what the hell? Like, I thought she was sustainable. What are you doing? And very quick to call them out. I'm not saying everyone who watches YouTube is this quick to crucify any imperfection, but it can be quite surprising when you watch someone for a long time and infer something about their values and ethics and then see something contradictory to that. To use a more relevant example, if you watch a fashion YouTuber and they always talk about thrifting and good quality pieces and their qualms with the fast trend cycle, you might be quite surprised to hear that one of the pieces they're wearing is from Urban Outfitters. But why is this so surprising? Why does this throw us off so much more online than it does in real life? In other words, if a friend of mine who I know to be pretty sustainable and pretty anti-trends thinks something from Free People is cute and goes ahead and buys it, why is that so much less surprising to me than when a YouTuber who I know to be pretty sustainable and pretty anti-trends buys a fast fashion piece? And I think the reason is because YouTubers are far more branded than we realize. And what I mean by that is it's far less expected and less accepted for a YouTuber to ebb and flow between beliefs and between levels of passion for those beliefs than it is for people in real life. And in some sense, that makes total sense. The job aspect of being a YouTuber is to sell their advertiser's product. So it comes off as completely inauthentic when someone that preaches sustainability and good quality pieces then takes a sponsorship from Shein or, shows you their giant box of free clothes that Shein gifted them. But I'm not really talking about extreme cases like that. I'm not talking about YouTubers whose main mission is to spread that specific value. And I'm not talking about YouTubers who go against their clear value in order to make money and justify a sponsorship. I'm talking about YouTubers who, the audience infers that they generally have these values and then are surprised when there's a little bit of contradicting evidence. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm not saying the audience is in the wrong at all. And this isn't a personal sentiment either. I've been really lucky to not get any hate when I show a fast fashion piece here and there, but I think the reason is because I'm still a very small YouTuber and I've kind of made a point not to preach my exact values and principles on my channel. But I do find it interesting that we tend to hold people on the internet very strictly to the traits and principles that we already know about them. People in real life are fickle and contradictory and not able to be boxed in, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's not a bad thing. It's very real, and we all know it so well that we don't sit there gravely disappointed or shocked when our friend who's mostly sustainable wears a fast fashion sweater. But we might be so surprised to see a YouTuber who's mostly sustainable wearing a fast fashion sweater in one of their videos. And I think the result of this is that we have YouTubers who are becoming a little bit scared to show everything and to show anything contradictory to something they've said in the past or contradictory to a value that their audience thinks they hold. And it's very easy to just hide and cut out certain things that you could get criticized for. I'm not making these points against or in defense of YouTubers at all. That's not the point of this. I think the point of me saying all this is to assure you that the black and white all or nothing thinking and behavior that you see on the internet isn't necessarily always authentic. And therefore, I don't think it's a standard that you need to hold yourself to either. I think people appear 100% one way or the other on the internet because they feel like they have to, because they feel like they'll be received better if they're branded as being one way and then stick to it. So they either purposefully never talk about sustainability so that you don't bat an eye when they do a Zara haul, or they brand themselves as sustainable, slow fashion lovers to attract that audience and then make sure to uphold that reputation through and through as part of their literal job. Now, I'm not saying there's no one out there who is perfectly sustainable in terms of fashion and would be no matter what, no matter if anyone was watching or what. I totally think that there are people out there who hold that as a big part of their value and stick to it through and through just out of pure passion. But I don't think there's anyone out there who is perfectly moral and sustainable in every area of life. I really don't. And I just want you to know that that's totally normal. It's totally normal to look for a sustainable, slow fashion, basic tank top and then give up and just buy one from Aritzia. And it's even totally normal to not even feel like looking elsewhere because you already know that you like the ones from Aritzia. I'm not saying that's the best thing to do, but that's kind of my entire point. It's normal to not always do the best thing. None of this is in defense of fast fashion either. This video isn't about the fact that fast fashion isn't really that bad. It is. It's a really messed up industry. But I don't think we should crucify ourselves for every once in a while falling victim to a system that makes it so tempting to save our $100 and buy something really similar for $20. There are so many alternatives to fast fashion, like thrifting and borrowing and mending, etc. So it is kind of true that there's no excuse for buying fast fashion. It is kind of true. But don't kill me for saying this. I don't really think you always need an excuse or justification for a choice you make. Again, if we're being 100% morally perfect, we're never buying fast fashion. But in a world where fashion isn't the only thing we have to worry about, I think it's 100% understandable to not be 100% perfect all the time. And I think bashing people for buying a few fast fashion pieces after always showing sustainable, slow fashion pieces is misdirecting our energy. And this is what I mean. Let me launch into one more little anecdote. I was vegan for 4 years. It was something I really, really believed in. But there was this really toxic culture within the vegan community, or within parts of the vegan community, where a lot of vegans would attack vegetarians for not going all the way, or would attack other vegans for slipping up, or would attack past vegans for adding eggs back into their diet. But doing that is putting all of their energy into making the last 5% of difference in 5% of the population's diet, where their energy would be much better used trying to explain to normal omnivore eaters the benefits of cutting down on meat consumption. In other words, the world would be a much more sustainable and animal-friendly place if everyone cut down on their meat consumption or cut their meat consumption in half, versus if all of the existing vegetarians went fully vegan. And if we apply that same principle to fashion, a world where everyone thrifts a little bit more would be much better off than a world where all of the already sustainably minded people cut out the last 5% of their fast fashion purchases. Again, this video is just a rambling of all of my recent thoughts on the matter, and I'm very much not saying this is the one right opinion. And I'm not saying this to justify or excuse my own fast fashion purchases. Fast fashion still sucks, and I still buy into it from time to time, and that's just the truth. And this video is mainly for all of my fellow worriers out there who take on the weight of the world and often feel unproportional levels of guilt for their moral shortcomings. Two things can be true. Fast fashion is objectively bad, but we don't need to crucify ourselves for taking part in it from time to time. We can want to do better and we can express that desire, but that doesn't mean we have to hide all of the ways in which we don't yet live up to that ideal version of ourselves. We can love thrifting and spread encouragement to try it more, but that doesn't have to become our entire brand. Real people are not branded in real life. To quote Walt Whitman, and yes, this is extremely pretentious, but I'm gonna do it. To quote Walt Whitman, do I contradict myself? Very well then, I contradict myself. I am large. I contain multitudes. And that is the end of my fast fashion ramble for now. Again, this is just my opinion, and I don't even know if you'd really call it an opinion, because the entire point of this video is to tell you that I don't really have as much of a strong opinion on the matter as you might think I would. It's more of a stream of consciousness ramble, I would say, or for an open conversation, but I welcome any and all opinions in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys think of this topic, and I'm more than willing to be swayed as long as it's said in a respectful way. Please share any of your thoughts in the comments. I would be really interested to know what you guys think. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to. And with that, I'll see you in a few days with another one. Bye guys.